Alright guys, this is Coach Sigler, and this is Owen, and I'm going to go over your Chapter 5, 6, and 7 Legislative Branch essay questions. Starting with the first one. Number 1, why is a national census important to the House of Representatives? Well, that one's kind of easy. Remember, the House of Representatives is based on population. And what is our population count? That would be the census. So, every 10 years, the Constitution mandates that we must take a census for a population count. Once they get that population count and get those numbers, what they do is they assign how many representatives will go to each state for their population counts in the House and representation and reapportionment. That's the word I was looking for. But number 2 is why are committees important in Congress? Committees are very important in Congress. You have to remember the House has 435 members, the Senate has 100. That's 535 legislators. They can't do business in large groups. So committees allow the lawmakers to be specialists in their field or in their committee. Committee is a small group. So what they do, you have specialists in their small groups, and they go and they make these decisions. You can have anywhere from 5 to 9, maybe 11. You won't have a whole lot more than that. But in committees, you'll have debate on the bill. What they'll do is they'll work out compromises on the bill. People that support the bill will speak. People that oppose the bill will speak, and they'll make changes. And they will also decide which ones they want to become law and which ones they don't. They'll vote them in committee. If they vote it down in committee, the bill dies. If they vote the bill through, it will go to the full House or the full Senate, depending on what kind of committee it is. And committees like to use their committee work on problems that are going to face the nation. All right, the third one. How is it possible to have a president and vice president from different political parties? All right. This one is not something that happens often, but it is possible. All right. In the Electoral College, if no candidate for president has a majority of the electoral votes, you must get a majority. Majority is 280, you win. But if you don't get a majority, all right, now this would be between more than 3 candidates. Because if you have 2, one of them's going to get 280 at least. But if you have more than one run, you can have 3 or 4, usually 3, but they might split it and nobody gets a majority. In that case, the House of Representatives will choose who the president will be. They'll look at the 3 candidates who got the most votes. The House will then vote on who they want to become president. They don't have to pick the person who got the most electoral votes. They can vote. Usually what they'll do is they'll vote with the person who's in their party. The Senate will choose who the vice president is from the 2 candidates who got the most electoral votes for their presidential candidate. Therefore, the House could pick somebody from one party, the Senate could pick somebody from another. If you have a divided House and Senate, that's possible. This has happened twice in history. In 1800, the House of Representatives elected Thomas Jefferson over Aaron Burr. 1824, it chose John Quincy Adams over Andrew Jackson. And the people weren't happy about that when Andrew Jackson is going to end up being president later on. All right, and the last one, number 4. What are the different actions the president may take when a bill is sent to the executive office, and what are the results of those actions? The president can do 3 things. Let's say the bill passes the legislature, it goes to his desk. The first thing he can do is he can sign the bill. If he signs the bill, it becomes law. The second thing he can do is he can veto it. He can veto and reject that law. And if he vetoes it, it goes back to the legislature and they can override it with a 2/3 vote. And the other thing he can do is he can leave it on his desk for 10 days and not sign it. And if he does that, the bill becomes law. Or he can, the fourth thing, there's really 4. The fourth thing he can do is he can sit on his desk, and if Congress is not in session, the bill will die. And if he lets it sit on there while they're not in session anymore, the bill dies, and it is called a perpetual veto. So that's your 4 essay questions for Chapter 5, 6, and 7. And this is Coach Sigler. It's Owen signing off.